Hello everyone, long time no see. This is Daniel P from DCT, and it's been quite a while since we've done anything on the show. And so, for all those people who have been listening, and for those 10 people who have subscribed to this channel and are probably watching this, we are not gone. We haven't moved to a different country or anything. I went on vacation, and I told that I was going to be out for a couple of weeks, and now Chris has told me that the brothers have gone on vacation too. So I'm not quite sure what's the deal with what we're going to do, and what's our upcoming projects and shows for the meantime. And as for me, I actually was supposed to do this before I left, but I didn't I didn't have down what I was going to say in this topic, and so I just didn't feel comfortable. And I was supposed to do this when I last weekend or this Monday, but just a lot of things happening, and plus, in after being gone for 2 weeks, just still trying to get into the groove of things, because 2 weeks felt longer than that, and so just trying to get back on here, on the mic, on the camera, and trying to get my feeling back to want to do these. So, yeah, and can't really say much about what's happening on the show since everything's kind of blank for now. But yeah, moving on to the topic, and really, this should have been the first video I should have done for the channel, because this is the most appropriate way to introduce something like a video channel like this, explain why you make it in the first place, but I didn't do that. But this is talking about why I like Digimon, and I think we did this topic on one of our shows. The first time we talked, I think it's when we talked about our first time seeing Digimon on TV, and I think we talked about it fully or just a little bit, but even if I did or did not, then I'm just going to explain right here on camera to everyone out there, and go into a little bit of detail about why I like it so much as a show, and why we kind of explain why we've made a show like this in the first place. Well, I'm just telling you my point of view, no one else's. So for me, the story begins in 1997, and I'm just getting into the animation art form, and I find it to be a very exciting and very interesting art form. And yeah, around that time, a lot of interesting things were coming out. The decade of 1990, and a lot of great things were coming out. And at the time, I saw a lot of shows and films, and I'm just saying, all these things are fantastic and great, and I just can't wait. I'm waiting for that one special show or film that's gonna be the best that I'm expecting from this. And so time goes on, and it is 1999. It's the summer, and just like I guess a lot of people, I was watching the Fox Kids network, and I think it was on the weekday. They say stay tuned for new shows coming on Saturday morning, and I said, well, I'm checking out all the shows that I can, because I'm just waiting for new things to come up, and what shows are going to be good, which shows are going to be bad, and maybe I'll meet that one special little show or film that's going to meet my expectations that I have. And that just so happened to be the morning where they were premiering Digimon, and that was when I first saw Digimon for the first time. And since then it's had a little special place in my heart, because it was the first thing that of animation that proved that the art form of animation was something to take serious, and it was important, and it was legitimate. But the funny thing is that I didn't really stick around with Digimon, even though I did see the first premiere of it. I think I just stuck around for 1 or 2 episodes, and then I kind of moved away to something else. I can't really explain what that was, but I think it wasn't until about halfway through the season, or until I saw reruns, that I actually caught up with it and actually sat down and went, wow, this is fascinating, this is interesting, this is exciting. It for me it was must watch TV. I pretty much like soap operas. You're so into it that you can't miss a moment of it because everything is just so exciting. You just have to watch it from beginning to end, and it was very addicting. And it wasn't just because it was anime either. I accept it just like any other piece of animation. And really, and I did grow up watching anime shows before Digimon, and I would say though that the one thing that really made me excited for Digimon, and it's something that really separates it from the other anime shows at the time, and I think even to now, is that sometimes anime is a little bit pretentious, and it's at times people some shows will be like, oh, accept this because it's it has to be taken serious, or it's a heavy dramatic story or things like that. And yet sometimes shows are so zany and wacky, characters are out of control and ludicrous. It's like, you can't, how can you take any of this serious? This isn't serious enough for me to relate to. So I just think that a lot of shows like that are I can't really see them as gripping, let's say. But that's where the separation from that, from other shows, and that's something that Digimon kind of had, which was this, it, even though it was a show about monsters and it was kind of made just for the fighting in the monsters, they were able to actually make us interesting story, a interesting world where it kind of like goes back to all those old adventure films, things like Jason and the Argonauts, or any kind of classic movies from that time, where you have this interesting setup, where you have this fascinating world, these interesting characters they can latch onto, and adventurous mishaps going along the way, and every moment of it is intriguing. And man, just tell me, wasn't seeing the first season so exciting? All the plots and twists and turns, it was just, that was pretty amazing. That was a hard act to follow, season one. I think a lot of people will agree on that. And so the thing that really got to me with Digimon was that it proved that it was showing that the art form of animation could be taken very serious, and that it was fantastic and grand in terms of acting, and just the scale, the vision, and storytelling. And I would say that has gone on from season to season, and some have their weak points and strong points, this and that. But really, I think it's just a reminder of of fantastic types of adventures. A great example of adventure storytelling, and I think Digimon really does that well, and that's what makes it so great, and I think that's why I like it. So that's all my thoughts for this topic, and just let everyone know that we are not dead and buried, but we're pretty much alive. And also a little bit of fun facts here. On my trip, I think I actually kind of experienced a Digimon moment myself, because I actually went and hiked up this mountain trail, actually walking up a mountain path spiral wise, and I think I was kind of probably living a Digimon moment right there, going up a mountain. And it was pretty, you had to be brave for one thing. It was pretty treacherous, because you didn't have no guardrails most of the time to walk up these tiny, thin stairways around this mountain path here and climbing it up. It was pretty high too, It was nice though. It was nice looking with the waterfall and everything. But yeah, I'll talk more about my trip on the show, I guess. So until then, we'll see you later.